TinkerCAD tip. I recently posted this video where we were making objects in TinkerCAD, multi-part objects with various colors like these logos or icons, and I had pointed everyone to a site that helped to do this, and several people reported having problems with that site and it not working really the way that it should. So in this video, I'm going to show a way to use that same site, but to do this in a different way, which in the end will yield a much better result, although it's a little bit more work in TinkerCAD. So let me show you that. Let's first move these up out of the way. Let's go to this other site, and again, this was PNG to SVG, PNG to SVG. Here's what the site looks like. We're going to scroll down here to where we put the file in. I'm going to say choose a file. There's our same logo. We're going to click on that. Now this is very similar to what we were doing before. Notice this recognized 5 colors in here, and we want to make it just 4 colors. So I'm going to click up here, reduce that to 4 colors: white, blue, red, yellow. We're going to scroll down a bit and we're going to click on generate. Once the 4-color vector image is generated, it'll look something like this, just like it did before. And down here a little ways is where we were messing and selecting with these colors to try to reduce it to just 1 color at a time. We're not going to do that in this video. In this video, we're going to scroll down just a little bit further in here. Let's close some of these annoying ads. And you'll notice here, right below where we were doing the color selection, we have this. It's called 4 Cricut and Silhouette cutting machines with registration marks. What this is all a single image with each of the 4 parts in it. Hard to see here, but the white part is here. There's the lettering. There's part of the logo in red and part of it in yellow. And we're going to scroll down just a little bit and click on this Download Cut SVG. And what this will do is download a single image with all of this in it. And I'll show you how we do that. We'll do download, giving it a name. I've picked the folder it's going to go to. I'm going to click Save, replace what I had. Okay, now we're going to go back over to TinkerCAD, and we're going to do an import on that SVG. It's a single SVG that has all 4 parts in it. And in this case, it gives me a little warning because it's too wide. And again, like the previous video, we're going to reduce this to 25% and click Import. Once imported, it'll look like this. Notice that it's all one object, and we're going to have to cut this up into several different pieces. But what's interesting here is each one of these parts has these little squares up at the top, and those are registration marks that'll help us line all these parts up once we cut them apart. So to cut them apart, I'm going to go through it kind of quickly here. We're going to move a copy of that off to the side. Click Duplicate. We're going to bring that over here, and one by one, we're going to cut out all the stuff we don't want with whole squares like this. We're going to bring that in, got to stretch it out. Let's move this one a little further up out of the way here. There we go. Click on this. Let's drag this down. We want to cover all of the parts of this that we don't want. Let's make a duplicate of that whole piece. Let's cover this. All right, so what we want to be left with is just this part up here. Zoom in here. Okay. Now we're going to do this Shift Select. We're going to grab all 3 of those parts. We're going to join them together, and that should leave us with just this part of the logo. And that's the part that was white. So for the sake of clarity, let's make that white. There we go. That's the first part. We'll move that out of the way. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to click on our original up here. We're going to make a duplicate of it. And we're going to cut out just the part that I want. Once I have all those parts, I'll come right back. All right, when you're done dividing all of your parts, I now have these in 4 separate pieces. There's one, that's the yellow part, the red part, there's the white part, there's the blue part. Now I mentioned those registration marks up here. Let's select all of those. We'll shift select the lettering here. Whoops, didn't grab it. Let's get all of those. Let's do an alignment. We'll do one down the middle, and then we want to click on the upper edge one up here. Let's bring all of that down. All right, now all of those boxes have been lined up, which then causes the 4 colors, the objects themselves, to be perfectly lined up. And what we can do then is our next step is to try to remove these registrations. So let's go down here and let's set our snap grid to 2 to make this a little easier. And one by one, we'll separate these by a set count. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll move that over. We'll move that over. And move that one down. Now on each of these, we just want to quickly use another whole box. And we have to do one for each color. Group those together. Oop, before we do that, let's make a duplicate of that. Let's slide that over here. Let's do that again. That covers those. Let's make a duplicate of that. Bring that down here. And then one by one, we'll group them. Put those 2 together, group. Those 2 together, group. Oops, we need to undo that. Can't take all of that. We're cutting off part of our logo here. That might work a little better. Select those 2, duplicate them, move those down. There we go. Group those. Group those. Group those. And now we just need to nudge them, shift-click them back into alignment. There we go. Everything is properly aligned, and if you wanted to, you could go to each of these and change the height. The yellow here, let's say we change that to 11. The white part will change to 12. Blue part we can change to 13. That way, if you wanted to print these on a single color printer, you'd have different heights, or you could change these at different heights, etc. But there's a little quicker way of doing it, just a little more work in TinkerCAD, but you get a much better result with each piece being just the part of the model that you want. You just have to separate all of the pieces, line them up, and then remove those blocks that were there to help line everything together. TinkerCAD tip. Hope this works out a little bit better for everybody, and again, like, follow, and share. And if you have any comments, please drop those in the comments.